You did it again. You picked up your phone and you don't even remember deciding to. Maybe you were sitting in silence for 30 seconds and something inside you couldn't let that silence stay. Maybe you were mid-conversation and your hand moved before your brain did. Maybe you'd just woken up, and before your eyes had fully adjusted to the morning light, before you'd said a single word out loud, your thumb was already scrolling. You're not addicted. Or at least, that's not the whole story. What's actually happening inside your brain right now is far older than any app. It's older than language. It's older than fire. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your phone, or yourself, the same way again. Let's go back. Way back. Roughly 200,000 years ago, your ancestors woke up every morning with a problem. The world was information scarce and danger dense. Every rustle in the tall grass could mean a predator. Every stranger on the horizon could mean a threat. Every stretch of silence could be the second before something terrible happened. The brain that survived wasn't the one that relaxed. It was the one that couldn't stop scanning. Neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp spent decades mapping the emotional systems of the mammalian brain. He identified 7 core emotional drives, hardwired systems that all mammals share, and one of them he called the seeking system. Not hunger, not fear, not love. Seeking, a relentless dopamine-fueled drive to search the environment for something new, something useful, something that might matter. Panksepp described it as the most fundamental motivational system in the mammalian brain, and it was never designed to turn off. Think about what your ancestors needed that system for. They needed to scan the horizon constantly. They needed to notice the thing that had changed since yesterday, the broken branch, the unfamiliar smell, the silence where birds used to sing. The ancestor who got bored and stopped scanning didn't pass down their genes. The one who couldn't stop noticing things, the one who was always slightly restless, always slightly alert, always leaning forward into the next moment. That one survived. That one had children. That one eventually became you. You are the descendant of the ones who couldn't stop looking. Here's where it gets interesting. Panksepp's research showed that the seeking system doesn't actually fire when you find what you're looking for. It fires when you're looking. The dopamine surge isn't the reward. It's the anticipation of the reward. It's the moment before you know what's there. It's the act of scanning itself that your brain finds irresistible. Finding is almost anticlimactic. The chase is the high. Sound familiar? You pick up your phone. You don't know what's there yet. Maybe a message from someone you care about. Maybe something that makes you laugh. Maybe an argument you'll regret watching. Maybe nothing. That uncertainty isn't a bug in the experience. It's the exact condition that sends your seeking system into overdrive. It's the same neural signal your ancestor got when they spotted movement in the trees and didn't yet know what it was. Your brain cannot tell the difference. Behavioral scientist B.J. Fogg, who founded Stanford's Behavior Design Lab and spent years reverse engineering the architecture of human habit, discovered something that app designers had already quietly figured out. The most powerful behavioral loops are the ones that deliver variable rewards, not consistent rewards. Variable ones. Sometimes you scroll and find something that makes your heart jump. Sometimes you scroll and find nothing. You never know which it'll be. This is the slot machine effect. You've probably heard the phrase. But here's the part most people skip over. The slot machine isn't just a psychological trick invented by casinos in the 20th century. It's a near-perfect mirror of how nature worked for your ancestors. Your ancestor didn't know if the next patch of ground they dug would yield food or be empty. They didn't know if the next valley would have water or be bone dry. The variability wasn't manipulation, it was just reality. And reality built your brain to stay hooked on uncertain outcomes because the ones who gave up after the first empty hole starved. Silicon Valley just figured out the formula. And then they scaled it. In 2018, former Google design ethicist Tristan Harris testified before the U.S. Senate and described what he called a race to the bottom of the brainstem. His argument was uncomfortably precise. Every major social platform had discovered, through years of relentless A/B testing and behavioral data, that the most effective way to hold your attention wasn't to make their product more useful. It was to make it tap more directly into your oldest neural wiring. Infinite scroll removes the natural stopping point. Pull to refresh mimics the slot machine lever. Notification badges and red dots.